everybody, welcome back. We are continuing our review of Interface Volume 1 of all the very specific DLCs, and I'm giving you a general briefing on all of these DLCs in each video. Next up are some of my favorite DLCs, and that has to be Elflines Online. Elflines Online apparently was an April Fool's joke that backfired terribly on our Talisaurian. Or really well. They thought they'd make this as a funny haha, and, the players may not be, all about it. But it turns out that a huge number of players really enjoyed Elflines Online. Now, Elflines Online is a Segotari Rush Revolution exclusive, which Segotari has mentioned a couple times in previous books out there, like the Jumpstart Kit. And I think Segotari might have a mention in the core rulebook. But, of course, it is a video game company. And with Segotari, they produced Elflines Online, which we follow the NPC Derek Sylar, who's a big fan of it. You know that one friend that takes their MMO life just as seriously as everything else that they're doing? That's Derek. And with Elflines, they talk about the lore of what the story leads up to, of a hero that has disappeared and the world being taken over by this effect called miasma. PvP across the entire area of Elflines Online, and you can make money grinding PvP. Now, creating your elf is a bit of a complete package character, but you have 50 stat points and 60 skill points. You do not have luck, and no stat may be higher than 8 and no lower than 3. You're creating much more heroic characters in the Elflands. You choose your skills here, along with having the language Elven 4, which I've had a character take Elven IRL. Or in meat space. And the way they convert it is you just need the core rulebook, and then you convert stuff like this from one to another. This MMO is made by Segotari, and you play it with other folks in Night City specifically. You get 200 gold pieces also to purchase stuff from the armory. And they have a very, very narrowed down skill list, with archery being a difficult skill, melee weapons being a difficult skill, first aid, paramedic, and surgery is a skill that's difficult, evasion and dance is also a difficult skill. Writing is an empathy skill in Elflines Online, compared to a reflex skill. They narrow a lot of these skills down, and there is a Google form out there that someone has made, which looks really, really good. For it's basically a spreadsheet of ELO. You have all your different weapons here and what their equivalent is. You have leather armor, which is leathers. Studded leather is Kevlar, chainmail is medium armor jack, full plate is flak. And then all these different weapons have their equivalents present. For ranged options, you have the bow. You have great axes and long swords. And you can also just get as many speed heals as you want in a day with sacred herbs. They cost 50 gold pieces though a dose. They talk about leveling and character progression, what it takes to, what happens at each level that you gain experience. And they don't really talk about progression in here. I think it's just more when the GM determines that you progress. You rank up typically after completing a quest or clearing a dungeon. And you can improve a stat by 1 for the first 3 ranks. Ranks 4 through 10, you can improve 2 basic skills or 1 difficult skill. And you also get special titles depending on what your highest stat is. Now, of course, video games are fun and all, but it's an MMO. Where's the money involved? Well, oh, you won't believe it. A monthly subscription to Elflines Online is 20 eddies, and it can be covered in the generic pre-pack lifestyle and higher. So for anybody that's living on kibble, that's an extra 20 bucks out of your pocket every month. At good pre-pack, you can have as many Elflines characters as you want. And by the way, that 20 bucks is for every single character. So you have 2 characters, well, that's 40 bucks. 3 characters, 60 bucks. But yeah, good pre-pack, you can have as many characters as you need to sate your obsession, and you can always pay to revive to avoid the revive sickness. And in order to play, you need a Segotari Rush Revolution active Braindance headset. Oh, that's a mouthful. And a copy of the game, which is like 50 bucks. So yeah, it's a bit steep to play at first. That's like 570 eddies up front, because you do not get a free first month of the MMO, unlike a certain game that I also like to play. And also, for every 1 eddy you pay, you can get 100 gold, and you can just pay to win. You want some really good gear? Just put a bunch of money into your game and just get a bunch of gold. There is also a market for powerful ELO loot on the street. You, the fixer, who has that Elflines Online obsession, maybe your entire night market just takes place for Elflines Online players at the night market. That could even just be in-game. And, well, you can also buy accounts if you want. You, whenever interacting directly with other players outside of an ELO game mechanic, you use your character's skills instead. Which, honestly, I like that there's, like, those 2 different levels of the game, where, you know, sometimes it'll be your elf that's doing things, but sometimes it is you that needs to do the stuff. Like, persuading a fellow player requires a conversation skill, whereas maybe persuading an NPC would require your elves. And then, of course, GMs. Elflines, it's a fantastic tool for progressing a plot. And you can also use stat blocks of Cyberpunk mooks and replace it with other things for monsters. But also an expansion came out, Derek Seiler's Guide to ELO, which has all the monsters in it. And all the different locations for dungeons and other exciting trials present here. So, Elflines Online, this first book is really good. But all 4 parts of the Elfline series so far have been fantastic. The fact that this was supposed to just be an April Fool's joke and everybody loved it led to there being an expansion pack 1, which we will talk about in the next video. I hope to see you there. Bye! Hey y'all, Dia here. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to watch the next one in the playlist. These are going to be very fast made videos that I'm using to just simply give you a look at each DLC. And trust me, I would like to continue doing this, and it would really help if you did like, subscribe, and just keep watching. Until then, I'll see you next time, Chooms. Bye now.